For research background, the National Library of Malaysia, or we call as Perpustakaan Negara Malaysia (PNM), was located at Kuala Lumpur. It is the library that established under the National Library Act 1972 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The National Library is responsible for providing a collection of knowledge at national level for present and future generation. In Perpustakaan Negara Malaysia, three main activities as a function in there is management activity, library development activity, and library service activity. The purpose for this research is to determine the level of customer satisfaction towards a public library. For the problem statement, with the rapid development in research and info technologies, library worldwide have changed not only its role and function, but in terms of content and its appearance. Public library is lacking in certain collection of books, especially in rare book. Uncommon books here is defined as a book that recognized by its initial date of printing, its limited issue and other exceptional character, and also its mystery register. There are challenges in collecting this rare book where it no longer in market, and this kind of collection in world can hardly be found or collected. Then, the internet has already had a huge impact on how people find and access information, including e-book. People nowadays use e-book to make it faster for them to find resource and to make it easier for them to reading books at anywhere and everywhere, especially for researchers and students that consume a lot of time and procedure in order to borrowing a books and finding information that they need. Then, Perpustakaan Negara was mainly for exhibition rather than dedicate books, where only 2 out of 3 buildings focus on the book. The space was reserved for exhibition instead of putting the books which public could borrow in main libraries. Other than that, the resource of local books also are lacking, where only a few local books are provided. It is because of the resources that hard to find, which the author nowadays refuse to publish the book due to the decreasing sales of local books. So, for the first research question is, what is the level of customer satisfaction towards the public library? Second, what is the relationship between responsiveness, assurance, tangible, empathy and reliability on customer satisfaction towards the public library? Third, what are the most influential determinants of customer satisfaction towards the public library? All the research objectives are the reflection for all the research questions. In the conceptual framework, independent variables are divided into reliability, assurance, tangible, empathy, and responsiveness, while dependent variable is the customer satisfaction.
My name is Nurashimah binti Hashim, and I will explain about hypothesis. So the independent variable is responsiveness, assurance, tangible, empathy, and reliability. And the hypothesis for responsiveness is H to A, which is there is a positive relationship between responsiveness and customer satisfaction towards Perpustakaan Negara. And for assurance, which is H to B, there is positive relationship between assurance and customer satisfaction towards Perpustakaan Negara. And H2C is for tangible, which is there is positive relationship between tangible and customer satisfaction toward Perpustakaan Negara. And H2D is for empathy, which is there is positive relationship between empathy and customer satisfaction toward Perpustakaan Negara. And lastly is H2E, which is for empathy, where there is positive relationship between empathy and customer satisfaction toward Perpustakaan Negara. Next, I will explain about research method, which there are 7 research methods, which is first, research design, unit of analysis, sample size, sampling technique, data measurement, data collection, and data analysis. For research design, quantitative methods have been used and cross-sectional survey is applied. For unit of analysis, the user, which is the people who visit Perpustakaan Negara. And for sample size is from 100 to 500 people who visit Perpustakaan Negara based on official portal of Perpustakaan Negara. And the sampling technique that we use in this research is convenience sampling. For data measurement, software is our main instrument. Software is the most commonly instrument to measure the service quality, and this was built by Parasuraman. For the data collection, there is section A until section G, and for section A is responder information. Section B until section F is our independent variable, and section G is our dependent variable. For data analysis, descriptive statistic is used, which is mean and standard deviation. And we also use percent correlation and multiple regression in this study. Next slide is finding. So our demographic profile is gender, age, status, races, and religion. In this study, it can be seen that female is the highest in answering our survey. For age, from 300, 135 is people who 21 until 23 years old, and 230 from 300 people is single. For race, Malay is the highest, and lastly, for religion, from 300 to 257 is Islam. In this slide, I will explain about hypothesis testing, where it explains about the objective, the analysis, the result, and the hypothesis. The first objective is to examine the level of satisfaction of people toward Perpustakaan Negara. The analysis is mean and standard deviation, which is mean is 1.824 and standard deviation is 0.365. The second objective is to examine the relationship between responsiveness, assurance, tangible, empathy, and reliability on customer satisfaction toward Perpustakaan Negara. And the analysis used is percent correlation. For the result, the IV1 is 0.390, the IV2 is 0.405, for IV3 0.429, for IV4 is 0.392, and for IV5 is 0.539. And for all the independent variable, the P is 0.000. And for the hypothesis is all the independent variables have a strong correlation with level of satisfaction. Therefore, the hypotheses are accepted. The last objective is to determine the most influential determinants towards satisfaction level of user at Perpustakaan Negara. And the analysis used is multiple regression. And the result is for IV1 0.131, for IV2 0.097, for IV3 0.096, and for IV4 negative 0.071, and for IV5 is 0.404. And the hypothesis is based on the beta value stated, the reliability, which is IV5, is the most influential determinant. The research recommendation for our study is first by updating the resources, training for librarian and staff, and improve the facilities. For updating the resources, the Perpustakaan Negara need to update their resources in order for user to get what they want, such as the book that they want and the other material that they want. Perpustakaan Negara can collaborate with many authors in order to get more books and more materials. And for training is quite important for workers in order to let the librarian and staff to give a best service to the users that come in Perpustakaan Negara. And by improve their facilities, the user who come to Perpustakaan Negara will be more comfortable, and therefore it will attract more people and more users to come to Perpustakaan Negara to find their books and research, and also to do some study group in Perpustakaan Negara. Therefore, Perpustakaan Negara can attract many people in different background to come to Perpustakaan Negara. The limitation of our research is first, common method variance, cross-sectional study, quantitative study, like in-depth finding. And the recommendation is apply different methods for different variables. The researcher ought to apply longitude study in the future study. And lastly, the researcher should concentrate more on the accuracy of the data to be collected for the study. And for the apply different methods for different variables. By doing this, the element of bias could be avoided during collect the data. And for the second recommendation, a longitudinal analysis is where the data for the same subject are collected at the beginning of the point as well as at the end of the point. The researcher can find this way is easier to explain the result. And for the last recommendation, the recommendation is used because to avoid any errors in analysis. The researcher therefore should perform the survey with a greater emphasis on the quality of the result.
For the conclusion, this research was done in order to calculate the level of satisfaction towards the service quality provided by the Perpustakaan Negara Kuala Lumpur. The results show that every determinant plays its own role whenever service is being served to the visitor. The determinant that involves include responsiveness, assurance, tangibility, empathy, and reliability. This study can be a benchmark for public library to improve their service quality provided, and public's eyes will be open as to the importance of public library also attract people to visit the Perpustakaan Negara. This study can also help to encourage other researchers to engage with the public library in order to know more about public library and have effort to increase its role and improving it. Thank you.